Next on BGSU Brain Game, it is Put-in-Bay versus Toledo School for the Arts. I think I feel the heat of a molten mental meltdown. Only one team can leave victorious. Who's it going to be? Only one way to find out. BGSU's Brain Game starts right now. And welcome to BGSU Brain Game. It is Put-in-Bay versus Toledo School for the Arts. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. For Put-in-Bay, led by Coach Pugh, we have in slot number 1, we have Emma, a sophomore. In slot number 2, we have Elias, a senior. And in slot number 3, we have Michael, a sophomore. Now for Toledo School for the Arts, led by Coach Burchett. In slot number 1, we have Elijah, a senior. In slot number 2, we have Ryan, a senior. And in slot number 3, we have Liam, a junior. Welcome to both of our schools and their teams. We're going to start things as we always do with our toss-up round. In this round, all questions are worth 10 points. No deduction for an incorrect answer, so you can play a little bit looser on your buzzers. You may confer before buzzing in, and you can steal a question in this round. Put-in-Bay, TSA, you ready? Let's go. What story by Edgar Allan Poe involves the amateur detective C. Auguste Dupin in a baffling case involving a cabinet minister? Is it A, The Pit and the Pendulum, B, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, or C, The Purloined Letter? That would be Put-in-Bay. Elias.
The Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Incorrect. TSA, chance to steal. That would be Ryan.
The Purloined Letter.
Correct. This game is played on a field with 2 goals. The stick that the players carry is the source of its name. What is it? That would be TSA. Elijah.
Lacrosse. Lacrosse
is correct. Burning coal produces smoke and gases that pollute the air. What element in the coal is the polluting? That would be TSA. Liam.
Carbon.
Incorrect. The polluting culprit. Put-in-Bay, chance to steal. Nothing? Nope. Gonna say no. Sulfur is what we needed there. Sulfur. The U.S. Supreme Court building is located directly across the street from what landmark in Washington, D.C.? That would be TSA. Ryan.
The Washington Monument.
Incorrect. Put-in-Bay, chance to steal. That would be Elias.
The Lincoln Memorial.
Incorrect. The Capitol Building. The Capitol Building. How many sons were cast away with their parents in the novel The Swiss Family Robinson? Is it A, 2, B, 3, or C, 4? That would be TSA. Liam.
3.
Incorrect. Put-in-Bay, chance to steal. That would be Elias.
2.
Incorrect. 4 is what we were looking for there. While doing this, you usually wear a helmet, and your guide will instruct you to always keep your feet pulled up. What is the name of the recreational activity that requires the use of a suspended cable? That would be TSA. Ryan.
Spelunking.
Incorrect. A good pair of gloves and a pulley system. Put-in-Bay, chance to steal. That would be Elias.
Rock climbing.
Incorrect. Zip lining is what we specifically needed there. Besides the excretory system, name the other body system that works like a quote-unquote trash collector to remove wastes from the body. That would be TSA. Liam.
Urinary.
Incorrect. Put-in-Bay, chance to steal. That would be Michael.
Gastrointestinal.
Incorrect. We were looking specifically for the respiratory system there. As many as 100 or more of them are lost each day. The average human body contains approximately 1 million of them. What are these things which grow in length by about 1/3 of an inch? That would be TSA. Liam.
Hair.
Hair is correct. Mount Rushmore has set the faces of 4 United States presidents in stone. In what state is Mount Rushmore? That would be Put-in-Bay. Michael.
South Dakota.
South Dakota is correct. The midnight ride of Paul Revere from Boston to Lexington was immortalized by an equally famous American writer. Who was this famous poet? Was it A, Ralph Waldo Emerson, B, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, or C, Oliver Wendell Holmes? That would be TSA. Ryan?
Longfellow.
Longfellow is correct. That is all 10 questions in this round. Let's take a look at our score. Put-in-Bay with 10. And with 40 is Toledo School for the Arts. We're just getting warmed up here on Brain Game. Stick around. Risk and reward coming up next. And welcome back to BGSU Brain Game. We had a scoring correction at the end of that last round. It now stands at Put-in-Bay with 10 points and Toledo School for the Arts with 60 points. Before we get to our next round, let's welcome some new players to our game. For Put-in-Bay in slot number 1, we have Lear, a sophomore. And for TSA in slot number 2, we have Oliver, a junior. And in slot number 3, Owen, a freshman. Welcome to our new and returning players. This is the risk and reward round. Both teams are going to get the same questions. The first 9, 10 points apiece, no deduction for an incorrect answer. However, the 10th question, we're going to give you a topic. You can then risk up to 30 of your points in 5-point increments based upon that topic. You get it right, you get those points. You get it wrong, you will lose those points for that question. A non-answer, that's also considered wrong. Or if you don't like the topic, you can simply pass. Put-in-Bay 10, Toledo School for the Arts 60. You'll be sticking around. TSA, Put-in-Bay, you are off to isolation. All right, TSA, are you ready for the risk and reward round? Here we go. What president used the campaign slogan, 2 chickens in every pot and 2 cars in every garage?
I think that would perhaps be
Time. That would be Herbert Hoover. He was known as the Georgia Peach. From what team did Ty Cobb play as an outfielder from 1905 to 1926? Was it A, Detroit Tigers, B, New York Giants, or C, Chicago White Sox?
Sure.
That would be Oliver.
New York Giants.
Incorrect, the Detroit Tigers. Which American author wrote The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County?
Perhaps Twain?
That would be Elijah.
Would that be Mark Twain?
That would be Mark Twain and or Samuel Clemens. Incongruous, out of place or not in harmony. Spell incongruous. That would be Oliver.
INCRUGURENCE.
Incorrect. INCONGRUOUS is what we needed there. True or false? Scarcity is the fundamental economic problem that arises from the limited availability of resources relative to unlimited wants.
I think that's true.
That would be Elijah.
True.
That is correct. When 2 quantities are compared using a quotient, what is being expressed? That would be Owen.
Division.
Incorrect. Ratio is what we were looking for there. Is Frank Lloyd Wright best known as an artist, musician, architect, thespian, or dancer?
Architect.
I think so.
That would be Elijah.
Architect.
Architect is correct. Science term that starts with C. Hard secretion that forms lobster's exoskeleton. That would be Oliver.
Cartilage.
Incorrect. Chitin is what we needed there. According to General C.H. Crossvenner, figures won't lie, but liars will figure. Identify the conjunction in the preceding quote. That would be Oliver.
But.
Is correct. Risk and reward time. The topic, historic events.
think probably 10.
Yeah,
I'm going to say 10.
10 points on historic events. What historic event occurring in 1757 can be found in the pages of The Last of the Mohicans?
I don't recognize
Would
it.
that perhaps be the French and Indian
I think that is.
Time. That would be the Siege of Fort William Henry. Negative 10 points for you, and that is the end of the risk and reward round for you. You now stand at 90 points. It's time for you to head off over there for isolation. All right, let's bring back in Put-in-Bay. Welcome back, Put-in-Bay. You ready for risk and reward? Here we go.
Yeah.
What president used the campaign slogan, 2 chickens in every pot and 2 cars in every garage?
Guess.
Time. That would be Herbert Hoover. He was known as the Georgia Peach. From what team did Ty Cobb play as an outfielder from 1905 to 1926? Was it A, Detroit Tigers, B, New York Giants, or C, Chicago White Sox? That would be Lear.
Chicago White Sox.
Incorrect, the Detroit Tigers. What American author wrote The Celebrating Jumping Frog of Calaveras County? Time, Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens. Incongruous or out of place or not in harmony. Spell incongruous. Got to buzz in, sorry, there you go. Elias.
INCONGREUS.
Close. INCONGRUOUS. True or false, scarcity is the fundamental economic problem that arises from the limited availability of resources relative to unlimited wants. That would be Elias.
True.
True is correct. When 2 quantities are compared using a quotient, what is being expressed? That will be Elias.
Division.
Incorrect. Ratio is what we needed there. Is Frank Lloyd Wright best known as an artist, musician, architect, thespian, or dancer? That will be Elias.
Architect.
Architect is correct. Science term that starts with C, hard secretion that forms lobster's exoskeleton. That will be Michael.
Crustacean.
Incorrect. Chitin is what we needed there. According to General C.H. Crossvenner, figures won't lie, but liars will figure. Identify the conjunction in the preceding quote. That would be Michael.
But.
But is correct. Risk and reward time. The topic is historic events. You can risk up to 30 points in 5-point increments, or you can pass. What do you think of Put-in-Bay?
15.
15 points. Historic events. What historic event occurring in 1757 can be found in the pages of The Last of the Mohicans? Time. That would be the Siege of Fort William Henry. Negative 15 points for you, and that is the end of the risk and reward round for Put-in-Bay. It is now time to clear our scores, and let's bring back in TSA. Welcome back to Toledo School for the Arts. Let's take a look at where we stand. TSA has how many points? 90. Put-in-Bay has how many points? 25. Well, we're just getting started, folks. Things are going to start happening fast because the category round's coming up next where questions can be worth 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 points, and the deductions start. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU Brain Game. Put-in-Bay 25, Toledo School for the Arts 90. Before we get to our next round, let's welcome some players. For Put-in-Bay in slot number 1, we have Ava, a senior. And for Toledo School for the Arts, returning is Ryan in slot number 2. and Liam in slot number 3. This is the category round. Power shifts now a little bit to you, our teams. There's 6 categories to choose from. Inside each category are questions worth 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 points. But deductions start now. That's right. If you go for 10, you're risking 10. You go for 30, you're risking 30. There is, however, a double or nothing hiding somewhere in there. Double the points, no risk. Could be a game changer. We're going to find out. You may confer before buzzing in, and you can steal a question in this round. Put-in-Bay, you're at 25 points, which gives you the right of first selection.
Pop music for 20.
Pop music for 20 points. This is the double or nothing question. How about that? Name a Rihanna song that was featured in the movie Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. That would be Rise Up or Born Again. Still your selection.
Pop music for 15.
Pop music for 15 points. Which song by Billie Eilish won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 2020? That would be Put-in-Bay. Elias.
Happier Than Ever.
Incorrect. TSA. They're saying no. Bad Guy is what we needed there. Bad Guy. Put-in-Bay still in control.
Pop music for 10.
Pop music for 10 points. This song spent 8 weeks at the top of the charts in 2022. Who does the song Anti-Hero belong to? That would be TSA. Liam.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is correct. And TSA takes control.
Asian geography for 15.
Asian geography for 15 points. Identify each of the following associated with the continent of Asia. Country surrounded by Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. That would be Put-in-Bay. Michael.
Cambodia.
Cambodia is correct. Put-in-Bay takes back control.
Asian geography for 20.
Asian geography now for 20 points. Country whose capital is Tbilisi. That would be TSA. Elijah.
Georgia.
Correct. TSA back in control.
Asian geography for 25.
Asian geography now for 25 points. Body of water that separates the southern portion of Sri Lanka from India. That would be TSA. Elijah.
The Tamil Straits.
Incorrect. Put-in-Bay chance to steal. Time. Gulf of Mannar is what we needed there. TSA in control.
Asian geography for 30.
Asian geography for 30 points. Asian city that is home to Victoria Peak. Time. Hong Kong. TSA in control.
Asian geography for 10.
Asian geography now for 10 points. Country where the Tigris and Euphrates converge. That would be TSA. Ryan.
Iraq.
Iraq is correct. That finishes off that category. TSA still in control.
U.S. Constitution for 20.
U.S. Constitution for 20 points. Until Amendment 25 of the U.S. Constitution, whenever this elected federal official died, that would be TSA. Ryan.
The President.
Incorrect. There was not constitutional mandate to replace him. To what office am I referring? That would be Vice President. Vice President. TSA in control.
The U.S. Constitution for 25.
U.S. Constitution for 25. What amendment to the U.S. Constitution abolished the poll tax? That will be TSA. Ryan.
24.
24 is correct. TSA in control.
U.S. Constitution for 30.
U.S. Constitution for 30 points. Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution tells of the regulations of states with each other and the federal government. What form of government does Section 4 guarantee to every state in the Union? That would be TSA. Elijah.
Republic.
Republic. We'll accept that, correct? Yes. TSA in control.
U.S. Constitution for 15.
U.S. Constitution for 15. The U.S. Constitution specifically lists the process by which new states may be admitted to the Union. What group has the power to admit new states to the Union? That would be TSA. Ryan.
Congress.
Congress is correct. TSA in control.
U.S. Constitution for 10.
U.S. Constitution now for 10 points. Name one of the 3 crimes mentioned in the Constitution. That would be TSA. Liam.
Treason.
Treason is indeed one of them. Counterfeiting and ARG, piracy. TSA in control.
Begins with SP for 15.
Begins with SP for 15 points. To form an opinion about something without having all the facts. That would be Put-in-Bay. Ava.
Speculate.
Speculate, yes. Put-in-Bay takes control.
Dog breeds for 20.
Dog breeds for 20 points. This is our image category. Identify this dog breed. That would be Put-in-Bay. Elias.
Pug.
Pug is correct.
Dog breeds 25.
Dog breeds for 25 points. Identify this dog breed. That would be Put-in-Bay. Elias.
Golden Doodle.
We will accept that, yes. Put-in-Bay still in control.
Dog breeds 30.
Dog breeds for 30 points. Identify this dog breed. That would be TSA. Ryan.
Cavalier Charles Spaniel.
Incorrect. Put-in-Bay, chance to steal. That would be Elias.
St. Bernard.
Incorrect. It is a Bernese Mountain Dog. Put-in-Bay in control.
Dog breeds 15.
Dog breeds for 15 points. Identify this dog breed. That would be Put-in-Bay. Elias.
Doberman.
Yes. Put-in-Bay in control.
Dog breeds 10.
Dog breeds for 10. Identify this dog breed. That would be TSA. Liam.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua is correct. That finishes off that category, and TSA snatches back control.
Begins with SP for 10.
Begins with SP for 10 points. A small, thin piece of wood that has broken off. That would be Put-in-Bay. Elias.
Splinter.
Splinter is correct. Put-in-Bay in control. End of round. Let's take a look at our score. Put-in-Bay 80, Toledo School for the Arts 145. One more round to go, and that's our brainstorm round. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU Brain Game. We had a scoring correction at the end of the last round. We now stand at Put-in-Bay with 80 points and Toledo School for the Arts at 145 points. Before we get to our last round, we have someone to welcome, and that is Put-in-Bay, slot number 1, Olivia. Welcome to the show, and welcome back to all of our returning players from the previous round. This is the brainstorm round. All questions in this round are 20 points. Negative 20 points for an incorrect answer. You may confer before buzzing in, not after, and you cannot, I repeat, cannot steal a question in this round. Put-in-Bay, TSA, here we go. A car travels at 65 miles per hour for 3 hours. How far does it travel? That would be Put-in-Bay. Elias.
190 miles.
Incorrect, 195 miles. Henry Fleming is the character in what classic novel? Time, the Red Badge of Courage. What state shares Washington State's longest eastern border? That would be TSA. Elijah.
Idaho.
Idaho is correct. Where is the vitreous humor found on the human body? That would be TSA. Ryan.
The eye.
The eye is correct. Where is the human body's thickest skin? That would be TSA. Liam.
Soles of the feet.
Bottom of the feet, yes. Famous John, who was the religious founder of Methodism. Time, John Wesley. Give the name of the Monopoly man who wears the top hat. That would be Put-in-Bay. Michael.
Mr. Pennybags.
That is correct. Famous John, who was the abolitionist martyr who led the raid on Harper's Ferry. That would be Put-in-Bay. Michael.
John Brown.
John Brown is correct. In what state can Glacier National Park be found? That would be Put-in-Bay. Elias.
Alaska.
Incorrect. Montana. Our nation's 33rd president hailed from the Show Me State. Name him. That would be TSA. Ryan.
Truman.
Truman is correct. Identify the state that is home of Harvard University. That would be Put-in-Bay. Elias.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts is correct. A sudden loss of consciousness due to a lack of oxygen and glucose. That would be Put-in-Bay. Michael.
Hypoxia.
Incorrect. Its common name is known as fainting. The meat of a cow is called beef. What is the meat of an adult sheep called? That would be TSA. Ryan.
Mutton.
Mutton is correct. The Treaty of Ghent ended what war? That would be TSA. Ryan.
Spanish-American War.
Incorrect. The War of 1812. Bipolar cells are found in only one end of round. Let's take a look at our score. We have Put-in-Bay with 80, and our winner with 225 is Toledo School for the Arts. Let's give both these teams a big round of applause. In the spirit of good sportsmanship, let's come out, meet in the middle, bump fists, shakes hands, and we'll see you at the next BGSU Brain Game.